Good morning. How's everybody doing? It's good to see you. Thanks for having me. It's 2022. Yeah, we're here. We made it. Yeah, it's been a rough couple years. But the good news is there's plenty of toilet paper. Yeah, so let's get going. All right, what I'm going to talk to you about can have an effect on any area of your life. And I like making money and showing people how to make money, so who wants to double their income? Who wants to triple their income? I'm going to show you how. See, I wrote this book called The Success Formula for Humans. And the reason that I wrote this book is because, well, I'm a real estate guy. And I've done over 6,000 deals. And I got to thinking one day, why do most people that buy any books, tapes, or courses on how to make money in real estate, they never make any money? I was thinking, why was I so successful and most people fail? I found out I was using a formula. I put it in a book. I'm going to teach it to you. All right, now, who wants to know the secret key to success? I got it. I got an official report right here. Secret key to success is solving problems. Solve problems for yourself, your team, your customers, your prospects. Do it daily. Do it more. Become adept at problem solving. Look for bigger and bigger problems to solve. Well, you might say, but I don't like problems, Sean. I know nobody likes problems, but that's how we make money. Let's say you walk into Walmart or Macy's or Target and you have a problem. Well, you're going to talk to the clerk behind the counter, right? Well, what's going to happen if the clerk behind the counter can't help you? Are they going to kick you out of the store? No, they're going to call their supervisor. Who makes more money, the supervisor or the clerk? Right, the supervisor. Why? Because they solve bigger problems. And if the supervisor can't solve your problem, they probably call the store manager or maybe even corporate. Who makes more money now? Yeah, so look for bigger and bigger problems to solve. You get to make more money. Now I'm going to tell you a rags to riches story. Okay? Right out of high school, I did not go to college. I helped my parents open up a hardware store. And then we opened up a second store and a third store. I worked for them for 16 years. And the most money I made in those 16 years was about $30,000 a year. Now, I got out of high school back in 1980. That makes me a seasoned guy. So $30,000 wasn't that bad for a young guy back then. But then one day, my parents called me up and said, Sean, we have some good news for you. I said, great. We want to come down to the store and talk to you. I said, okay. So they came down to the store. We sat down. I said, what's the good news? They said, we want to sell you this store, nothing down, 100% financing. Sign on the line, and this store is yours. Now, most people would be excited about that, right? Because I paid my dues. But you ever hear when somebody gets into a car accident or something serious like that, they say, my whole life passed in front of my eyes. Well, they're thinking about their friends and their family and their loved ones. When my parents made me that offer, my whole future life passed in front of my eyes because I could see myself being 80 years old selling the same nuts and bolts and pipe fittings for the rest of my life. And you know what? That kind of scared me because I thought I had more potential than that. So I thanked them for the opportunity, and then I said, no, thank you. And then I thought, if I don't get out of here, I'm going to be that 80-year-old guy. So I said I quit. I didn't even plan on quitting that day. It's kind of funny. Sometimes your life can turn on a dime, so be ready. So I quit there and I went to work for a plumbing supply house, making about $15,000 a year. Yeah, really moving up in the world, right? Yeah. But I started going to school at night to be a blackjack dealer because I thought that'd be more exciting and probably make some more money. Kind of hard not to. So I finished the blackjack dealer school. I went over to a local casino. They auditioned me. They said, we like you, you're hired. I said, great. I said, how much does this job pay? They said, well, it pays minimum wage. I was like, minimum wage? No. I'm worth more than minimum wage. I used to run a business. She goes, no, you don't understand. All of our dealers make minimum wage, which is true. Casinos pay their dealers minimum wage. She said, you make your money up in tips. She said, don't worry about it. You're going to make plenty of money. I said, okay. So first night I start dealing, sure enough, the tips start coming in. Now, when a dealer gets a tip, you don't stick it in your pocket. You drop it in a plastic box on the edge of the table. And the next tip goes in the box, and the next tip goes in the box. Then when you want to go on break, you don't take your tip box with you like you think you would. It stays on the table. And the next dealer drops their tips in the box, and the next dealer drops their tips in the box. Then at the end of that shift, they gather up all the tip boxes, they add up all the money brought in, and then they divide it evenly amongst all the dealers that worked on that shift. Now that's a problem. See, I was going to call this talk the one problem talk, because on your climb to success, there is always going to be problems. Some of you know about that already, don't you? Well, the problem here was there was a lot of crabby, grouchy dealers, and they weren't making any money. I was making money for them, and I didn't like that. Well, I found out that poker dealers get to keep their own tips, but they didn't have poker at the casino I was at, but they did across town. So next chance I got, I went across town, started snooping around, and there was a poker dealer there that I knew. So I pulled him to the side. I greeted him. I said, hey, I'm dealing blackjack across town, and I'm splitting my tips with all the other dealers, and I understand that poker dealers get to keep their own tips. He said, well, we don't get to keep our own tips right now because at the time the industry was still pretty new in the state of Missouri, where I'm from. He said, but it's legal in every other state, and the state of Missouri is getting ready to have a vote, and since it's legal in every other state where poker dealers get to keep their own tips, it only makes sense that they would approve it here too. I said, great. I said, I want to be a poker dealer. He says, well, that sounds good. I said, one problem. He says, what's that? I said, I don't know the first thing about poker. See, because in poker, they got all these hands. They got like a royal flush and a straight flush and a straight and a flush and a full house and four. They got all these hands. I didn't know what be what. I never really played the game. I said, look, there's no poker dealer schools around town. Would you be willing to teach me how to deal poker? He says, yeah, I'd be glad to teach you how to deal poker. So let's get into the success formula for humans. So the first step in the success formula for humans is everything starts with a thought. Everything in our man-made and woman-made world starts as a thought. Everything. And they say your thoughts are things, and actually they are. They actually go out into the universe to track back what you're thinking, good thoughts or bad thoughts. This little clicker here started in somebody's mind as a thought, is brought out of the physical world. That screen right there started in somebody's mind as a thought, and it's brought out into the physical world. Everything starts as a thought. Don't believe me. You ever call somebody up on the phone and they say, I was just getting ready to call you, or your ears must be ringing. We were just talking about you. Who's ever had that happen? Yeah, your ears are, what does that mean? That means your thoughts were connecting into the universe. Or maybe you have a spouse or a significant other, and you might be thinking about them in the middle of the day, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, you get a phone call or a text message. Hi, honey, just thinking about you, wondering how your day's going. Who's ever had that happen? Yes. So your thoughts are things. So be careful what you're sending out there because it just might happen. Good thoughts are bad thoughts. Next step in the formula is decision. You have to make a decision that you're going to achieve a goal. So I met a lady not too long ago. She told me she was cutting the feet out of her pantyhose for 20 years before Spanx came along. She knew it was a good idea, but she didn't make a decision to do anything about it. And guys, if you don't know what Spanx is, don't worry about it. It's not what you think. Do we have anybody here that's lost a significant amount of weight without surgery? 10, 20, 30, 40 pounds? Yeah? You? Yeah, nice. And we've heard of people that have lost 100 pounds and 200 pounds, right? Well, I'm willing to make a wager with you guys that this time that you lost the weight was not the first time that you tried to lose weight. I mean, you tried every diet under the sun. You tried the marshmallow diet, the pineapple diet, the cabbage soup diet, and nothing worked. You just said I was big boned. Yeah. You even said your dog was big boned. Yeah. Well, I ain't never seen a fat skeleton. But what changed this time that they were able to lose the weight? What changed was they made the decision that this time, I'm going to do it. So you have to make a decision that you're going to achieve a goal, or else it's not going to happen. Next step in the formula is a white hot burning desire. You got to want it bad. That fire in your belly, nothing's going to stop me. See, that white hot part comes from, let's say you light a candle. And you look at a candle flame. There's different colors to a candle flame. There's blue and green and yellow and white. White's the hottest part of the flame. You have to have a white hot burning desire to achieve your goal. See, there's three types of goals. There's an A-type goal, a B-type goal, and a C-type goal. Now, an A-type goal is something real simple. Like, I'm going to get a Big Mac and fries for lunch. Unless the McRib is back, of course, right? Yeah, those are good. And then tonight for dinner, I'm going to fix some spaghetti and a salad. That's an A-type goal. Most people can achieve an A-type goal. And then there's the B-type goal. A little bit more challenging than getting a Big Mac. Let's say you're going to take a European vacation. Okay, are you going to go to one country or several countries? How are you going to get around? How are you going to communicate? Where are you going to stay? How long are you going to be there? How much is it going to cost? Can you even get off work? See, there's a lot more to a B-type goal than just getting a Big Mac. And then there's the C-type goal. That's the one I'm talking about, the big one. The one that's so big that when you think about it, you don't know how you're going to do it, and it kind of scares you when you think about it. That's when you know you have a good goal. Yeah. So this guy tells me he's going to teach me how to deal poker. So once a week, he comes over to my house. He gives me some assignments, how to shuffle the cards, how to pitch the cards, how to read the hands. Week after week, I'm practicing and practicing. He comes over, gives me some more assignments. Then after a while, he says, Sean, you're better than some of the dealers that we have now. He said, I've been telling the poker room manager about you, and he wants to meet you. He said, so tomorrow, wear some black dress pants, a white button-up collar shirt, because he wants to audition you. I said, okay. So next day, I go over to the casino. He introduces me to the poker room manager. I give him my best power handshake. Hi, I'm Sean Greaves. Folks, listen up. When you shake hands with someone in business, you give them a firm handshake and you look them in the eye and then repeat their name a couple of times. Because one, it helps you remember their name, and two, we like hearing people say our name. Okay? And man to man, firm handshake. Man to woman, firm handshake. Don't break their hand. Woman to woman, same thing. See, I can't tell you how many times I've shaken hands with a man and I've gotten a limp, wet noodle handshake. That tells me something about that guy. If that's the most he can put in doing shaking my hand, what's it going to be like doing business with me? I don't want to do business with that guy. So a firm handshake, look them in the eye. So because the poker room manager says, well, I hear you're pretty good. I said, well, that's what he tells me. He said, okay, go over to that table over there and tap that dealer off. Go deal for a while. I said, okay. So about 30 minutes later, I get tapped off the table. I go talk to the poker room manager. He says, you're pretty good. I like you. You're hired. Go report to Human Resources, fill out the paperwork, come back, get on schedule. My goal went full circle. So now I'm over here dealing poker, split my tips with the blackjack dealers. And about 7 or 8 months later, state of Missouri has their own vote. And one problem. They shoot it down. So now I'm over here dealing poker, split my tips with blackjack dealers. I didn't gain any ground. So I get to thinking, what can I do with this poker thing and make more money? I thought, well, I think Las Vegas is the place to go. So I made the decision, when I get good enough, I'm going to go to Las Vegas. And every week when they're taking money out of my paycheck, I'm getting that white hot burning desire going. The last step in the formula is action. Nothing happens till you make it happen. Okay, so I got to take some action. But I'm waiting. I'm trying to get good. I'm trying to get real good, get ready for Las Vegas. And about 7 or 8 months later, I get to be one of the best dealers in the house. It's time to take some action. But then something happened. Or should I say something didn't happen. Even though I was good enough to go to Las Vegas, I didn't go. Now, why do you think I didn't go? I was afraid to go, yeah. I move across the country, I don't know anybody. Besides, I figure old Murphy would be out there waiting for me. You know that Murphy's Law guy? Anything that can go wrong will go wrong at the worst possible time. That guy? I figure he'd be out there waiting for me in cowboy boots and a cowboy hat, just waiting to shut down poker. Or maybe even close down all those big casinos, bringing in millions of dollars. Ain't it funny how your mind plays tricks on you? It can give you 1,000 reasons on why you can't do something when all you really need is one reason on why you can. Well, so I didn't go. I stayed splitting tips, dealing poker at home. Well, something did happen. Another casino opened up a couple miles away from the one I was working at, and they had poker. And they were doing everything they could to get that poker business up and running. I mean, anytime a new player would come in, they give him a new hat, a keychain, a coffee mug, valet parking, buffet dinners. Guess what? It worked. Their poker room took off. Now, the poker room I was working at, it died. See, we used to have 10 tables going every night. We were packed. You used to have to put your name on a waiting list just to come in and play. Now we were down to 3 tables, and that's a problem. The problem here is we got too many dealers. So one night I come in, they said, Sean, you know how to deal blackjack, right? I said, yeah, I dealt it for a while. I said, okay, after your first break, just go deal blackjack the rest of the night. I was like, oh, okay, that might be kind of fun. Next night, hey, Sean, we don't need you in all the poker room, just go deal blackjack the whole night. I was like, wait a minute, last night was kind of fun. Tonight started to sound like a habit. That's a problem. Well, that goes on for a couple weeks. Then they moved me to part-time. So now I'm a part-time poker dealer, blackjack dealer. That's a problem. And that goes on for a couple weeks. Then they moved me to the extra board. And the extra board means you're not scheduled for any hours. If you want to work, you have to ask people, hey, you want Friday night off? I'll work for it. Oh, you want Saturday night off? I'll work. Oh, Monday night? So you got to round up your own hours. So now I could work 1 day a week or 7 days a week. You know, I thought, well, maybe that won't be so bad. Maybe free me up to work on some other projects, right? But I'm working 5-6 days a week because I want to make the money. And a couple weeks later, the old company memo comes out, says anybody on the extra board can only work 2 days a week. I'm like, 2 days? Come on. That's not fair. That's not fair. It's like, why me? Why do I always have to struggle? Hey, you know, if I quit here, this whole place is going to go right down the tubes. Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, while I'm busy belly aching, then it occurs to me, wait a minute, Sean. You said when you got good enough, you were going to go to Las Vegas. You got good enough. You didn't go and you chickened out. Now the universe is saying you're too good to be here. Get out of here. Go. I'm like, okay. So, got to take some action. So I get an apartment over the phone. I pack up and I move to Las Vegas. And when I get out there, I'm looking around every corner and under every rock for old Murphy. And guess what? He wasn't there. I got hired at the first place I applied to. Now I'm out in Las Vegas dealing poker, keeping my own tips, making a lot more money. My goal went full circle. Took me a little bit longer than I planned on, but there I was. Now I'm out there for a while, and I'm making pretty good money, but I get to thinking, you know what? I'm supposed to be rich. Even when I was a kid, I thought I was going to be rich. I thought, what can I do to get rich? Well, I didn't tell you something. Right out of high school, back in the early 80s, they had all these nothing down real estate seminars coming through town. Buy houses, nothing down, no qualifying. I thought, well, I qualify for the nothing down part because I got nothing. So I went to a couple real estate seminars. And then I went out, I'm 19 to 20 years old. I bought 20 houses, and then I stopped. So now I'm out here in Las Vegas thinking, what can I do? And I thought, well, people still need a place to live. People still get foreclosed on, death, divorce, bankruptcy, all the situations still the same. So I made a decision. Okay, I'm going to move back home and I'm going to start buying houses. That's what I'm going to do. So every day goes by, I want to get rich. I get that white hot burning desire going. Just got to take some action. So I pack up and I move back home. I get an apartment. So now I got to pay rent, my car payment, my credit card bill, and insurance. Typical American, right? Yeah. But one problem. I didn't have any money coming in. See, when you do real estate, a lot of times you don't make money the very first week. It's kind of hard. But I got bills to pay, so I got to get some money coming in. So I went over to the casino that put me out of a job, and now I'm a Las Vegas poker dealer. They hire me on the spot. So I start dealing cards at night so I can pay my bills. But I got to take some action on this house thing. One problem. I was broke. I didn't have any money. See, I don't know if you know this or not, it takes money to do real estate, and I didn't have any. It don't have to be your money, but it's got to be somebody's. So I got to thinking, okay, who has money? I thought, well, banks have money. So I went into the local, small, no-name bank. I went in, I talked to the receptionist. I said, I would like to speak to your commercial lender. She said, well, that'll be the president of the bank. I was like, the president of the bank? No. Don't you have like a clerk or somebody I could talk to? I just didn't want to get kicked out of the bank by the president, you know? She says, no, he's the guy. I said, okay, well, let me at him. So she brings me into his office. I give him my best power handshake. Hi, I'm Sean Greaves. He introduced himself. He says, have a seat. He says, how can I help you? I said, well, I want to buy houses and fix them up and sell them. He says, well, that sounds like a pretty good goal. How can we help? I'm like, hello, I'm at a bank, right? I say, look, I need some money. And here's the deal. I have good credit. At least I think I do. I pay my bills on time. I have no money, and I don't even have an account at your bank. Can you help me? And then I went and held my breath. Now that's scary, man. That's scary. Here's a golden nugget for you. You have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone in order to grow. You got to be willing to get uncomfortable. That's the rules. You don't have to like it, but you got to get uncomfortable. Dr. Susan Jeffries wrote a book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Oh, I was feeling the fear, boy. So I thought, well, wait a minute. You know, I heard about this rapport thing, you know, where you get to know people before you go in for the sale. I thought, you know, I'm going to back up and I'm going to just get to know this guy. So I start talking to him. Turns out his name was very similar. His name was John Greaves. I'm Sean Greaves. John Greaves, Sean, very similar. We were 6 months in age apart. He's married. He's got 2 kids, a boat, and a motorcycle. I just started talking to him. And all the while, I'm peppering in business and what I want to do. I talked to him for about 2 hours, and I walk out of the bank with a commitment for 100% financing. I'm in business, baby. So I got to take action. So I go out and I buy a house, and I fix it up and I sell it. And I go buy another house, and I fix it up and I sell it. And I buy another house, I fix it up. Now, I'm working at nighttime. I'm dealing cards at night. I work from 8 o'clock at night till 5 in the morning. Get home about 6, sleep till noon, work on my houses, get back to the casino by 8, work till 5 in the morning, get off at 6, sleep till noon, work on my house. I just keep doing that every day. I worked 1 solid year. I took 1 day off. I took off Christmas. And then at the end of the year, I look at my bank account. And I see doing houses part-time, I made $80,000. Dealing cards full-time, I made $27,000. I'm like, wait a minute. Part-time, $80,000. Full-time, $27,000. I think the job's costing me money. It's got to go. So I quit my job. Now I'm a full-time real estate investor. My goal went full circle again. I figured now that I don't have to work at night, I can do a few more houses a year because I want to make $1 million a year. That's what I really want to do. So I buy a house, fix it up, and I sell it. I buy a house, fix it up, I sell it. Now money's starting to get good. That goes on for a couple years. And then I meet a guy, very rich and successful. He has some businesses. He does some real estate. So I'm, talking to him. He's telling me what he's doing. He says, tell me, Sean, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm trying to make $1 million a year doing real estate. He says, all right. And I says, how you doing that? I said, well, I buy a house, and then I fix it up, and I wait for it to sell. And then I go buy another house, I fix it up, and I wait for it to sell, and I just keep doing that. He goes, no. Sean, you have 2 problems. I said, 2 problems? What? He says, you can only make so much money with your own 2 hands, and you run out of time at the end of the day. He says, you got to buy multiple houses, and you can't work on them yourself. He said, you'll make less money per house because you got to pay for the labor, but you're going to make it up in volume. He said, that's called duplicating yourself. I said, okay, buy multiple houses, and don't work on it myself. I got it. So now I got to go talk to old John at the bank to tell him I'm going to need some more money because I'm going to start doing 2 and 3 houses at a time. So I go in, I talk to John, I tell him about my plan. John's like, well, that's good and everything, but one problem. See, these one problems, they never stop. I'm telling you, got to be a problem solver, a good problem solver. I said, what's the problem now, John? He says, well, we got a new board of directors, and, well, we can only finance you 1 house at a time. I'm like, well, come on. You know I'm trustworthy. You never lost a penny with me. I'm good for the money. He goes, yeah, I know it, but that's just our program. I said, are you sure? He goes, yep. I said, okay. So I walk out of the bank, and then I start to thinking, who's got money? I need some money. I thought, well, you know what? Banks got money, but banks have stupid rules, and I don't want to jump through their stupid hoops. So I thought, who else has money? I thought, well, you know what? There's private people that have money. I thought maybe I can find some private people. All I got to do is pay them a little bit more money in interest than what they're getting now, and maybe they want to invest with me. So I ran a newspaper ad. Yeah, this was before the internet. Yeah, you guys don't even know how hard it was before the internet. You guys got it so easy now. It's crazy. You don't even know it. Well, I got 3 phone calls. First guy called. I think he was just lonely and wanted to talk. Second guy called. He had $5,000. Well, I already had $5,000. That wasn't going to help. Third guy calls. I get to talking to him. I said, well, how much money do you think they have to invest? He says, I got at least $1 million. I was like, ooh, I think you're my guy. So I talked to him a little bit more, and I said, tell you what, why don't we set up a day and time for me to come over to your house, meet you and your wife. I'll bring some before and after pictures of houses that I've done, some closing statements, and we'll talk about an interest rate and see if it's a good fit. He says, okay. So a couple days later, I go over to their house, and I meet them. And they're super nice people. I mean, the nicest people you ever want to meet. So I start talking to them. We sit down. I start building that rapport. I show them pictures of house that I've done. We talk about an interest rate, and I'm getting to know them. I talk to them for about 2 hours, and then they look at each other and they say, you know what? We like it. Let's do it. So now I got access to $1 million, and they didn't even check my credit. I'm back in business, baby. So I go out. I start buying 2 and 3 houses at a time. Money's starting to get good. And that goes on for a couple years. Now, my money guy, his name is Tony. And Tony never calls me. But he called me up one day. I was like, uh-oh, what's he want? So I'm like, hi, Tony, how you doing? He says, I'm good. I said, everything's good? He goes, yeah, everything's good. You good with everything? You happy? He goes, yeah. I said, what's up? He says, look, my son has a sports management company. And he manages money for professional athletes, mostly football players. And, well, they've been watching what we've been doing for the last couple of years, and they really like it. And, well, he's got about $20 million that he wants to invest with you, and I was wondering if you mind if I gave him your phone number. I'm like, sure, yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you, Tony. Thanks a lot. I hang up the phone. I'm thinking, what am I going to do with $20 million? I'm not spending the $1 million I have with Tony. I mean, I might lose it. I might get in trouble. I might go to jail. I'm freaking out. And then I calm down a little bit, and I breathe some, and then I change my underwear. Then I get to thinking, what can I do with $20 million, invest it, keep it protected, and make some money for myself? And I thought, well, you know what? There's other guys like me that want to do real estate, but they don't know how to raise any money. I thought, what if I make this money available to these other guys through me? I'll guarantee the football guys 0 risk. I'll service the loans. They'll only receive payments from me. And if the deal goes bad, I'll take the loss. It's 0 risk. I thought, you know what? I think that's going to work. So about a week or so later, football guy calls me. He says, we've been watching what you've been doing, Mom and Dad, and we really like it. And, well, we got about $20 million we want to invest with you. Can you handle it? I said, well, your dad told me you'd be calling, and here's my plan. So I tell him about being a lender. I said, I'll service the loans. I'll make the payments to you. I'll guarantee you zero risk. If the deal goes bad, I'll take the loss. I'll pay you the same interest rate I'm paying your parents. I'm gonna lend it out at a high interest rate. I'm gonna pay you a lower interest rate. I'm gonna keep the spread. That's called arbitrage. So I build rapport. I start talking to him. We're talking about business. And about 2 hours later, he's like, you know what? I like it. Let's do it. So now I got access to $20 million. I got to go tell everybody I got money to lend. So I put the word out. No qualifying, no credit check, no application. Just bring me a good deal. And guess what? I was right. Business took off. Before you know it, I had 200 loans going. I'm rehabbing 2 and 3 houses at a time, 200 loans going. Now I'm bringing in $80,000 a month. Yeah, little old me. I'm on my way to that $1 million a year, aren't I? Yeah, just rolling in the dough. Goes on about 7 years, and I'm getting rich. Man, I'm just making a lot of money. Well, about 2008 rolls around, and one problemo. The real estate market crashes. Yeah, it takes the whole economy down with it. Millions of people lose their jobs. Millions of people lose their houses. It was crazy. See, what was going on was they had these lenders. They weren't banks. They were called subprime lenders. And they were doing these crazy loans. They called them a stated income loan. It means state how much you make and we'll believe you. You could be flipping hamburgers at McDonald's and state that you make $200,000 a year, and they'd say, oh, we believe you, okay. And you could say, oh, by the way, I want to borrow $400,000 to buy a house, and they'd say, okay, you got it. It was crazy. And to make it even worse was, they give you a 30-year loan with a 1-year adjustable rate mortgage, which means it's a 30-year loan, but in 1 year, your interest rate's going to adjust up, and there's no cap. They said your payment's probably going to double or triple. So we suggest that you refinance us out of this loan before the end of the year, because your payment's going to go up. Well, the lazy Americans that we are, nobody went out and refinanced their houses, and everybody started getting foreclosed on. Homeowners lost their houses. It was crazy. Then all these little bitty rental houses around town, now because we had low supply, high demand, because everybody could get a loan, that means prices go up. Low supply, high demand, prices go up. Now these little rental houses were worth double or triple. All the landlords went out, refinanced all their houses, pulled out all the equity. And then after 1 year, their payments doubled and tripled. The rent wouldn't cover the payment. Landlords lost their houses, tenants got evicted. Homeowners lost their houses, homeowners got evicted. There were millions of houses getting foreclosed on. It was a disaster. Oh, and to top it off, the 200 loans that I had out there, yeah. What happened was all the subprime lenders went out of business, so the only lenders left that could finance a new homeowner were the big banks. But the big banks weren't lending any money because they were busy getting bailed out by the government. Or else our financial institutions would have crashed. Get bailed out by the government. Doesn't that sound familiar? So the 200 loans I had, these guys couldn't sell their houses because nobody would finance them. They all walked away from the loans. I had to foreclose on 200 houses. Yeah. And now, instead of low supply, high demand, prices go up, there was no demand, high supply, which makes prices go down. Yeah. So I couldn't liquidate these houses for what I was into them for. I had to take a loss. But I gave my word to my investors they wouldn't lose a penny. I lost about $1 million getting my investors back to whole because I kept my word. Listen, if you want to run circles around your competition, it's easy. Operate out of a higher level of integrity than everybody else, because most people don't have integrity. Not most people. There's a lot of people that don't have integrity. And you probably know people like that, don't you? Yeah, there's plenty of integrity people, but there's a lot of people that are not. So here's the deal. If you want to run circles around your competition, keep your word. Do what you say you're going to do. If you tell somebody, I'm going to call you on Monday, and it's Friday later that week, you might as well not even call them. You've lost their trust. Keep your word. Do what you say you're going to do. So, lost about $1 million getting my investors back to whole because I kept my word. 2008, 2009 was stressful on everybody. I didn't even know I had hemorrhoids until 2008. Yeah. So I'm out of houses, I liquidate everything, and I just sit back and I'm watching the economy crash. It's just going down. I'm trying to figure out what can I do in this market. I'm a real estate guy. What can I do? Well, I start looking around the lower income areas of my town, I see that there's hundreds and hundreds of vacant houses because they were rentals and the landlords got foreclosed on. Now they're bank-owned houses. Hundreds and hundreds of houses. And I'm thinking, where did all the tenants go? So I go over to the housing authority and I ask them tell me about this Section 8 housing program, where the government pays the rent? And the lady tells me about it. I said, is there a demand for Section 8 housing? She says, oh, we have thousands of people holding vouchers, but there's no houses available. I was like, what? There's thousands of houses available. She goes, no houses available. I was like, well, what's it say? Find a need and fill it? Oh, there was a big need. I said, I'll be back. That's right, I said, I'll be back. So I went out, I started buying houses like a madman. I had 4 and 5 rehab crews going. I could get a house rent ready in a week. Before you know it, I had 83 rental houses. So now I'm bringing in $42,000 a month profit for me. Yeah, it's not $80,000 a month, but you'd be surprised on how you can squeak by on $42,000 a month, right? Ladies, maybe one less pair of shoes this month or one less purse, right? Yeah. Guys, listen up. I'm going to give you the best investment advice in the whole wide world. Something to give you an infinite rate of return that you can do for the rest of your life. Now, an infinite rate of return means it's so high, the rate of return is so high you can't even calculate it. You want to know what it is? It's buy your ladies flowers. Buy your ladies flowers, and if she has a job, don't bring them home. Have them sent to her work because they love it when the other ladies get jealous. First words out of their mouth is, uh-oh, somebody's in trouble. Right, ladies? Yeah. See, because a lot of you knuckleheads, the only time you give flowers is when you're in trouble. Don't give flowers when you're in trouble. Wait, ladies, what should they? Jewelry. Give jewelry when you're in trouble. Yeah. And then when she gets home that night, oh, yeah, she'll take care of you. Yeah. Best investment advice in the whole wide world. So now I'm just running my rental business, 83 houses, bringing in $42,000 a month. Well, that goes on for about 4 years. Then I start getting phone calls. Hey, Sean, banks are lending again. Are you lending money? I was like, well, yeah, I'm always lending money. I kept my word with my investors. I still got millions of dollars to work with. See, because I finance the fixer-upper houses. I don't finance the houses that are move-in condition that banks finance. I finance fixer-upper houses. So all the rehabbers start calling me. So it's time to get the loan business up and running again. Before you know it, I got 200 loans going, 83 rental houses. Now I'm back up to bringing in $80,000 to $90,000 a month. But one problem. I hate these rental houses. I hate them. Low-income tenants are high maintenance. Oh, I got some horror stories on what these people can do to your house. I hate these houses. So I thought, I want to get rid of these houses. I made the decision. I'm going to get rid of these houses because I hate them. I get this white-hot burning desire going. I don't even want to tell you all the stuff they do to my houses. I got that white-hot burning desire, but I got to take some action. But how do you get rid of 83 houses quickly? I mean, most people take you 5 years. I want to get rid of them in 5 days. I hate these houses so much. Well, I found out that there were cash buyers coming from like California buying all over the Midwest because they could buy more houses in the Midwest with their money than they could in California. So I took some action. I marketed to the buyers, and it took me 4 months to sell the 83 houses. So between the cash flow and the profit on the houses, I made $2.1 million in profit in a 4-year period in the worst real estate market that we'll ever know, hopefully. And so now I just do loans, and I might wholesale a house from time to time. That's my rags to riches story. But how does all this stuff start? How does all this stuff start? We talked about it at the beginning. Everything starts with a thought. Now, you have to use your mind to create thoughts. So let's get a visual image of what your mind looks like. Okay, just think about that. What does your mind look like? You're probably thinking of an image of your brain, right? Well, your brain is not your mind. Your brain is like the muscle or the electronic switching station that runs everything, but your mind is actually all of you. It's your big toe, it's your pinky, it's your thumb, it's your nose. See, it's all of you. So, but nobody really knows what the mind looks like. But let's try and figure this out. Now, I can't take credit for this. There was a doctor, he was a psychiatrist. Back in 1934, his name was Dr. Thurman Fleet. Dr. Fleet was trying to figure out what the mind looked like so he could help his patients. And this is what Dr. Fleet came up with. He came up with this, call it a stickman figure if you want. He says your mind is split up into 2 parts. He says you got your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. He says let your body represent your outer world. He says so whatever's going on in your outer world, that's what's going on in your mind. If you're the kind of person that's like, That contract fell through. I knew they wouldn't follow through, Or, I can't get any clients. Nobody's answering the phone. Or, I'm broke all the time. I can never get ahead. There's always more month of money left. Woe is me. Well, if that's what's going on in your outer world, that's what's going on in your mind. What about that one guy that everything he touches turns to gold, like an Elon Musk? What do you think's going through his mind? Success is going through his mind. Yeah. So let's talk about the conscious mind. Your conscious mind is your filter to the outer world because we're constantly being bombarded with information, almost 24 hours a day. I mean, you get up in the morning, you grab your phone, you go into the bathroom, you start looking at Facebook and Snapchat and Instagram, CNN, Yahoo. You might turn on the TV, the radio. We got friends and family and clergy and books and billboards and magazines. We're constantly being bombarded with information. It's your conscious mind's job to filter that information out and either accept it or reject it. If you don't like it, it's just going to kick it out. If you like it, it's going to send it down to the subconscious mind to be stored as a little bitty file, just a little bitty program. Start saving information. See, I was in the grocery store the other day, and I heard on the sound system a song that I haven't heard in 30 years, but I knew every word to it because I had it stored in my subconscious mind just as a little bitty file. Okay, so you start storing information. From the day you're born, you start storing information. You may never pull it up, but it's always there. Then you got your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is a magic genie in the bottle. You all have a magic genie in a bottle. And it doesn't just grant you 3 wishes, it grants you as many wishes as you want. Whatever the conscious mind sends down to the subconscious mind, it just goes to work to make it happen. And then your subconscious mind is just like a computer. It doesn't question anything you put into it, it just goes to work to make it happen. Who here's ever bought a brand new computer before? When you turned it on, how many icons were on the screen? Just a couple, right? Well, if you're anything like me, I got 40 or 50 icons on my screen. When I bought my computer, the document file was totally blank, totally empty. Now I got thousands of documents in my document file. We start saving programs because your subconscious mind is just like a computer. Now, when you show up as a little bitty baby, you show up with 3 preset programs, factory installed. Fear of loud noises, the need to eat, and the fear of falling. The need to eat. Yeah, they'll let you know when they're hungry, won't they? Yeah, and the poopy part, I don't think you need a program for that. That just comes to squirting out. But if you show up with 3 preset programs already installed as a little baby, that means all of your fears, your phobias, and your habits that you have now were either installed by you or somebody else. Because when we're real little, who starts programming us? Our parents do, right? Yeah, I mean, a lot of us, we like the same foods as our parents. A lot of us are the same religion. We vote the same way. We live in the same city. It goes on and on and on. You're going to reach a certain age in your life, and you're going to do or say something, and you're going to stop dead in your tracks. You're going to go, I'm turning into my mother, or I'm turning into my father. Yeah, don't worry, if it hasn't happened yet, it's going to happen. Just be ready for it. So, subconscious mind is the magic genie. Conscious mind has to send it down to the subconscious mind in order for anything to happen. So, you're business people. Let's say you've been in business or at your job for 2 years, and end of December rolls around, and you want to start setting your goals for the next year, income goals. So what would be a good income goal to set a goal at? Let's say $200,000 a year. Okay, so let's set a goal of making $200,000 for the year. Okay, so that starts out as a thought. Okay, it's in your conscious mind. Nothing's going to happen yet. It's just in your conscious mind. It can go out just as fast as it goes in. Okay? So you got a thought in your conscious mind that I want to make $200,000 a year. Well, I got some bad news for you. Right out of the gate, there's going to be a battle because you're vibrating at a vibrational frequency. Let's call it an X-type frequency. Okay? You're vibrating at a vibrational frequency. That's who you are. See, everything in our universe has a vibrational frequency. Everything. I mean, this table here has a vibrational frequency. This here has a vibration. Everything is vibrating at a vibrational frequency. Some are just different. Wood might be vibrating at a different frequency than metal. That's why one's hard and one's soft. Okay? So you're vibrating at a vibrational frequency, and your conscious mind doesn't want you to have to work that hard. It's going to say, whoa, time out. That's a Y. That's a Y-type frequency. We're an X. That's not who we are. I mean, it kind of looks like us, but that's not who we are. Come on. He's going to try and talk you out of it. He's going to say, you're not even smart enough to make $200,000 a year. Come on. Get serious. You know how much work that's going to take? And time. You don't have time to, you got things to do around the house, the kids' activities. Got to watch some baseball. Hey, football's on. Football's on Monday night, Sunday, Thursday, Friday, every day of the week, It's going to try and talk you out of it. But you got to be strong. You got to beat up the conscious mind to get it to send that thought down to the subconscious mind so you can see results in the outer world. If you don't get the conscious mind to send it down to the subconscious mind, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. So at the beginning, what you have to do is beat up the conscious mind. And you're going to say, I want to make $200,000 a year. At the beginning, conscious mind is going to say, no, you're not. And a lot of you quit right there. Right there. You're like, yeah, you're right. I don't know what I was thinking. What's the number one New Year's resolution in our country? Come New Year's. Losing weight. Yeah, losing weight. So Monday rolls around, beginning of the year, you go join a gym for $10 a month. No contracts. That's real commitment there, boy. Yeah, so Monday night, you're sitting at the edge of your bed you're ready to go to bed, you pick up your alarm clock, and you start setting the time because you're going to get up real early. And all of a sudden, there's a little tap, 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 tap on your shoulder. That's your conscious mind. Your conscious mind is going to say, whoa, wait, what are you doing? You're setting your alarm clock for what time? And you're going to get up and go do what? Work out? Are you crazy? Turn that thing off. You're not that. That's not you. And you know what? A lot of people take it right there and go, yep, you're right. Hey, it was only $10. I only lost $10. I'll go cancel the membership. Yep, you're right. We know this is a fact because come January and February, the gyms are packed. Come June, they're empty. Okay? So your subconscious mind is going to try and talk you out of it. But you got to be strong. You got to beat it up. And after a while, subconscious mind starts to get a little bit smaller. I want to make $200,000 a year. And after a while, conscious mind is going to go, no, you're not. But you got to stay on it. You got to beat up the subconscious mind, the conscious mind to send it down. I want to make $200,000 a year. After a while, conscious mind is getting weaker and weaker and smaller. It's going to go, no, you're not. It's getting weaker and smaller. I want to make $200,000 a year. After a while, the conscious mind is going to say, he's too strong. She's too strong for me. I got to send it through. It'll send it down to the subconscious mind, and then you'll see your results in the outer world. That's how it works. It's hard achieving your goals. That's how it works. But how do you really get something into your subconscious mind, Sean? Well, there's a couple ways to get something into your subconscious mind. Okay? First way is through visualization. Okay? You have to visualize and see in your mind as if you're already achieving your goal. Not going to someday, but as if you're already achieving it. Because the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between a truth or a lie. It just goes to work to make it happen. So you have to get excited about it. You have to see yourself achieving your goal. Okay? Because if you don't see it, nobody else is going to see it. I live in Missouri, the show me state. Well, show me and I'll believe it. No. You got to believe it and then you will see it. Okay? So you got to be able to visualize really good. Then the second part is repetition. Repetition. Okay? Get you some 3x5 index cards. Write your goal out on the index card in a positive present tense. Not going to someday, as if it's already happening. Sign it, date it, read it 20 times in the morning, 20 times at lunch, 20 times before you go to bed. Next day, get a new index card out, write your goal out. Don't do it on your computer because magic happens when you write your goal out. Write it out, sign it, date it 2020. Next day, new card, sign it, date it. Next card, write it out 2020. Next day, 2020. Just keep doing it every day. Get you some Post-it notes. Write your goal out on your Post-it notes. Put your Post-it notes everywhere you go. Put it on your bathroom mirror, on your dashboard, on your refrigerator, on your back door, on your computer, everywhere you go. Because even if you're not looking at it, your subconscious mind is looking at it. Get your smartphone out. Download a recorder app if you don't have one on there and make a 5-minute recording of you just repeating your goals over and over and over. Then, when you're driving in your car, because a lot of us spend a lot of time in our cars, turn that radio off and just start listening to your recording of your goals. Burn your goals into your subconscious mind over and over and over. It'll start sinking in, and then magic's going to start happening. Okay? So, You have to see your goal in your mind, so that requires a good imagination. Okay? Do you guys have a good imagination? Let's test your imagination, okay? Do what I do. Everybody take your hands, clap them together, rub them in a circle. Like it's cold outside. Generate some heat. Faster, harder, okay? Clap them together again. Interlock your fingers. Bring them up in front of your face like you're going to pray because you're going to need it. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Squeeze your hands together tight, okay? Keep squeezing together. In a minute, not yet, but in a minute, I'm going to have you separate your index fingers about an inch or so apart, okay? And I want you to use your wonderful imagination. Imagine there's powerful magnets all up and down those fingers, okay? And those magnets are going to pull your fingers together and lock your fingers together. Don't look at me. Don't look at your neighbor. Just allow it to happen, want it to happen, and it will happen, okay? So right now, everybody separate your index fingers and feel those magnets pulling your fingers together closer and closer and closer. By the time I count to 3, those fingers are going to be totally touched and totally locked together. 1, pulling and tugging, tugging and pulling and tugging together. Feel those magnets. We're turning them up. They're getting stronger. 2, locking those fingers together even tighter like we're wrapping strings around your fingers or rubber bands, locking your fingers together. Stronger and stronger, locking your fingers together. Tight. And 3, fingers totally touched. Looks like everybody has a really good imagination here. Very nice. Very good. Separate your hands, put them down in your lap. So we have good imagination. Now, we want to create some relaxation when we're visualizing so it can sink into our subconscious mind even easier. So what we're going to do is we're going to create some relaxation. And good news, I checked with management today and they said it's okay if you guys relax in here today. That's pretty cool. So what we're going to do, not yet, but in a minute, I'm going to have you taking a deep breath in. And when I say deep breath, I don't mean a half a breath. I want you to totally fill your lungs up. We're going to hold that for about 5 seconds. And then when I say exhale, I want you to exhale all the way out. Not halfway, but all the way out. So we'll go all the way in, hold for 5 seconds, and then all the way out. Okay? So let's do a test run here. So everybody take a deep breath in. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale all the way out. Perfect. Now let's close our eyes, because when we want to visualize and use our imagination, it's always good to close your eyes. So keep your eyes closed until I ask you to open them. Close your eyes, keep them closed until I ask you to open them. Here we go. Take a deep breath in. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale all the way out. Keep your eyes closed. Take another deep breath in. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale all the way out. Take another deep breath in. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale all the way out. You're doing perfect. Last time, deepest breath now. Deep breath in. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale all the way out. Keeping your eyes closed, relaxing yourself. With every breath you take, you allow yourself to relax even more. Let the sound of my voice relax you even more as you go down deeper and deeper in this nice state of relaxation. Just follow every word that I say, keeping your eyes closed. Using your wonderful imagination, this is what I want you to do. Imagine yourself in a tree grove. So go into your imagination and put yourself in a tree grove. Rows and rows of trees as far as your eye can see. And they're about 8-foot tall trees, bushy leafy trees. Just rows and rows of them. And it's a beautiful day. The sun is shining. You can feel the warmth of the sun on your face. Clear blue skies. It's the perfect temperature. Yes, a gentle breeze in the air. It is just beautiful. And as you're walking around this tree grove, you notice that all these trees are actually lemon trees. And they're full of ripe yellow lemons. So go over to the closest tree that you're at, reach up and break off the biggest lemon that you can find. And hold that lemon in both of your hands. And feel the waxy texture of that lemon. You can feel the pores of the lemon, the waxy texture of the lemon. One end has a bulb on it. The other end is where the stem was, where you broke it off. Now turn it straight up and down with the stem straight up. Now take a knife out of your pocket. Take an imaginary knife and slice that lemon straight across and drop the top half on the ground. Put your knife back in your pocket and hold on to that lemon. And look at that lemon. You can see the wedges of the lemon, the yellow pulp of the lemon. There's juice in your hands now. Yeah, so take your fingernails and peel half the yellow skin off of that lemon. Peel half the yellow skin off, and you can see that white, flaky texture underneath the yellow skin. And you can smell that lemon zest. Those fresh lemons are so strong. Smell that lemon. Bring that lemon straight up to your nose and just take a big smell of it. Smell that lemon zest. Yeah. And well, since that lemon's right up there by your mouth, open your mouth and take a big bite out of it. Just, start eating that lemon and chewing that lemon. Oh my gosh, and juice is dripping down your chin. That pulp is exploding in your mouth, and it's sour. Oh my goodness, your jaws are getting tight. Oh my gosh, these lemons are so sour. Taste how sour it is. Oh my goodness, it's good, but it is sour. Oh my gosh. Okay, all right. Now everybody come back to me now. Open your eyes. All right. Who could see the lemon in their mind? Who could see it? All of you. Who could taste the lemon? Pretty much all of you. Yes. Let me ask you a question. Did you really have a lemon? Did you really bite into a lemon? No, you didn't. But you tricked your subconscious mind that it was real. You could actually taste a lemon from something that wasn't there. See, you have to trick your subconscious mind. You place your goal into your subconscious mind as if it's already happening. Your subconscious mind will go to work to make it happen. Things are just going to start falling into place. That's how you have to do this, to plant your goals into your subconscious mind so that you can have, be, or do anything that you want. Anything. Pretty cool, right? All right, let's move on. This here, check this out. What's really holding that horse down? Is it the chair? Is that little bitty chair holding that horse down? Is that really what's holding the horse down? No, it's what's in its mind is what's holding it down. What's holding you down? Is it really nothing? Think about it. We've got all these excuses. They're all small things, like this chair. Change the way you're thinking so you can have, be, or do anything that you want. All right. Here's an hourglass. Hourglass represents what? It represents time. Okay? Top half represents the future. How much future do you have left in your life? Do you know? You don't know. So we have no control of the future. Bottom half represents the past. Past is time gone by. Here's a newsflash, ladies and gentlemen. We don't get time back. This is not a dress rehearsal. We're all on the big stage. So if you don't have no control over the past, you have no control over the future, you must have control over something. What do you have control over? What you have control over is the now. What are you doing now about your future? There's only one way it's not going to come, and I don't really want to talk about that. Now, what if there was like a recording or something that you could listen to? Maybe when you're getting ready to go to bed at night and you're relaxing, to plant your goals into your subconscious mind? Well, guess what? I got it. I got these guided meditation recordings. I got 16 of them. I got one on how to increase your confidence, how to improve your golf game. We could use that. How to improve your health, how to sleep better, how to improve your memory, how to release pain, how to stop procrastination. A lot of us are guilty of that. How to be a better public speaker, how to stop anxiety, reduce anxiety. Sports enhancements. If you have kids, let them listen to the sports one so they can be better at sports. How to stop smoking, stress reduction, better study and exam habits. Again, for the kids, maybe you have to take a test or an exam. It'll help you pass it better. Success habits, wealth and prosperity, and weight loss. I got 16 of them. They sell for $60 a piece. Okay? Or I'll sell the whole package for $125. That's an incredible deal. Listen to one of these every night for a month. Go to the next one, and over the next year, you'll be a totally different person. But you know what? I'm going to do something even better. I handed out these bookmarks earlier. Get your bookmark out. Get it out. Okay? On the bookmark there's a QR code. Okay? I want to give you the Success Habits recording for free, a $60 value. I'm going to give you that for free. So if you've never used a QR code, what you do is you turn your phone on camera, you hold it over the QR code, and it's going to ask you to tap on the screen, enter your information, and I'm going to send you the Success Habits recording for free. Just listen to it every night. Repetition, remember, repetition, right? All right. Here's my information. You can find out more about me. There's my website. Hey, there's my email address. If you like this stuff, would you send me a testimony that you like it? If you don't like it, my name is Tony Robbins. Yeah. And if you have a group you want me to speak to, there's my phone number. Now, Who saw the movie Apollo 13 with Tom Hanks? Yeah, it's a good movie, right? It's a true story. The rocket went up into space. The side of the rocket blew off. It was leaking oxygen. The batteries were dying. The air scrubber stopped working inside the capsule. They were going to die from carbon dioxide poisoning just from breathing. They had to fix the air scrubber first so they could stay alive to tweak the jets and the engines to get back to Earth. See, they were going to go to the moon, but the moon was out. They needed to get back to Earth. Well, a lot of the engineers and the smart guys on the ground in Houston, they were like, I don't think these guys are coming back. They're goners. Well, Gene Kranz was the flight director for NASA at the time. He said, failure is not an option. And I'm telling you, for you, in your life, failure is not an option for you. Winston Churchill said, never give up, never give up. And I'm telling you, never give up on your dreams. You can have, be, or do anything you want. You could be successful at anything that you want. What do you want? Is there resistance out there? Yes, resistance is everywhere. Every time I get on an airplane, I think, how do they get these big machines up into the air? They load them with food and fuel and water and people and suitcases that can't weigh over 50 pounds. Well, the engineers know about how heavy this thing's going to be, so they know they need to make the wings a certain size. So they back this thing out onto a big, long street called the runway, and then they floor it. You got to get it going up really fast. You ever stick your hand out the window of your car on the highway? You feel resistance of the air hitting your hand, right? Well, when that plane gets going fast enough, the resistance of the air hits the wing and forces the plane up into the air. It will stay in the air as long as there's resistance. Resistance can be our friend. Now, when they're backing this thing out on the runway, we got the flight attendants teaching us how to use a seatbelt. Like, we really need to know how to use a seatbelt, right? But what they're really saying is, when you're ready to change levels, it's probably going to get bumpy. And I'm telling you now, it's going to get bumpy. Achieving your goals, ladies and gentlemen, is hard. It's hard. Some people are going to lie to you. People are going to cheat on you. You might sweat over achieving your goal. You might bleed over it. You might cry over it. It's hard. But you know what? Somebody said a lot of times if something's hard, it might not be worth it. But if it's worth it, it's going to be hard. Make it okay that it's hard. Joseph Campbell said, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek. You got to go up in there. You got to get uncomfortable. That's the rules. So what do you want? What do you want? What do you really want? Not what somebody else wants for you. What do you want? It's all up to you. You can have, be, or do anything that you want. So what do you want? Think about it. What's holding you back? It's probably nothing. Listen, follow the rules and you can have, be, or do anything that you want, and that you can take to the bank. So what do you want? It's all up to you. It's all up to you. I'm Sean Greaves, and I thank you for listening. Thank you very much.